As we delve into the concluding chapters of George II's tumultuous reign, we witness a complex tapestry of familial dynamics, health challenges, and peculiar final wishes. Despite harbouring mixed sentiments towards his children and experiencing the grief of losing some, George II grapples with both familial disputes and personal health issues. The narrative culminates with a peculiar twist in his last wishes, offering a glimpse into the ideas of a monarch whose life, marked by love, strife, and resilience, unfolds in an intriguing finale. Frederick, disappointed by his father's survival, sought to inflict emotional pain by banning George II and Caroline from witnessing the birth of their first grandchild. However, in a cruel twist, it would be George II who ultimately had the last laugh. George II, intolerant of his son Frederick's defiance, mirrored his own father's actions by banishing Frederick from the royal palace. The familial discord showcased the persistence of patterns through generations. Amidst the family strife, tragedy struck as George II's beloved wife, Caroline of Ansbach, succumbed to a prolonged and agonizing battle with a strangulated bowel. The typically strong-minded king, deeply in love with his Caroline, displayed an unexpected tenderness that observers had not seen before. In her final moments, Caroline urged George II to remarry, but the king, refusing to commit to matrimony again, declared his intent to have mistresses instead. This unusual vow added a touch of the unexpected to an otherwise poignant farewell. Despite his profound love for Caroline, George II, a true reflection of his parents, engaged in multiple affairs throughout his marriage. Surprisingly, he kept Caroline informed about these liaisons, and some even had potential consequences that reached beyond mere infidelity. George II's enduring affair with Hanoverian noblewoman Amalie von Warmoden spanned nearly 3 decades and possibly resulted in offspring. While some speculate that one of Amalie's sons could have been George II's prodigy, the king never acknowledged the child. As George II navigated the complexities of his personal life, his son Frederick hatched a devious plan to undermine his father. Following Caroline's passing, Frederick conspired with George II's political opponents, yet his grand coup never materialized. George II's remarkable luck persisted as Frederick, his scheming son and political adversary, passed away unexpectedly from what historians believe to be a pulmonary embolism. The unexpected turn of events shifted the political landscape for George II. Amidst recovering from the grief of his son's demise, George II faced another devastating loss as his daughter, Louisa, passed away later that same year. The accumulating tragedies painted a picture of a challenging period in George II's life, with one loss in particular leaving him less mournful than others. George II harboured a strong aversion not only towards his eldest son Frederick, but seemingly spread his disdain evenly among his children. Reflecting on the untimely deaths of his offspring, Louisa and Frederick, George II candidly admitted, "I know I did not love my children when they were young. I hated to have them running into my room, but now I love them as well as most fathers." The sincerity of this sentiment raises eyebrows given his historical track record. Soon, George II found himself yearning for another one of his sons to vanish from his life permanently. Specifically, he grew increasingly wary of his third son, the Duke of Cumberland, who had committed the crime of negotiating a peace treaty displeasing to George II. According to the king, Cumberland had ruined me and disgraced himself. After more than 3 decades on the throne, marked by love, feuds, and numerous close calls, George II's life took a toll on his health. Suffering from blindness in one eye and hearing loss, the aging monarch still managed to savour life's pleasures, including a morning cup of hot chocolate. George II, an early riser, started the day, as usual, on the 25th of October 1760, sipping hot chocolate and attending to his morning routines. Little did he know that this day would be fateful. If he had foreseen the events that unfolded, he might have added an extra marshmallow to his morning indulgence. George II's demise unfolded into a humiliating manner. Shortly after retiring to his chambers, a loud sound alarmed his valet, who discovered the king on the floor. The physician's account noted the king appeared to have just come from his necessary stool, painting a vivid picture of his final moments. Assisted by attendants, George II was lifted into bed, and his daughter, Princess Amelia, was summoned. Tragically, by the time she arrived, the king had already passed away, leaving specific instructions for the disposition of his royal remains, a poignant gesture in its own way. George II's last wish was unconventional. He yearned to reunite with his departed wife in the afterlife. Specifically, he requested burial beside her with a peculiar twist. The sides of their coffins should be removed to allow their remains to mingle, as an unusual expression of enduring love. In the grand finale, George II's legacy appears to lean more towards being a lover than a fighter, excluding, of course, his conflicts with his father, brother-in-law, sons, and his involvement in actual battles. Regardless, history regards George II with a certain kindness, as one source notes. His character would not afford subject for epic poetry, but will look well in the sober page of history. In the wake of George II's passing, his legacy became an integral thread woven into a rich tapestry of British history. The ritual surrounding his death, from the post-mortem revelation of thoracic aortic dissection to the symbolic gesture of intermingling coffins, underscored the profound impact of his reign. As the nation mourned and reflected on the cynical nature of monarchy, George